Good morning, and welcome to the 2023 Annual Meeting with the Bar. I am Vania Allen, Clerk of Court for the U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Northern District of Georgia. We are pleased to again have the ability to host all of you in this virtual format. Although we are on screen and not in person at the Strom Auditorium, this meeting is still very much interactive. If you have questions as the meeting progresses, feel free to use the Q&A feature. We have members of the clerk's office who are ready, willing, and able to answer your questions. Of course, if you prefer, there will be time at the end of the slide presentation to ask additional questions, either aloud or in the Q&A feature. At this time, I will stop sharing my video for the duration of the slide presentation and resume at the end to answer any questions. And with that, let's launch into the statistics for Georgia Northern. For the 12-month period ending September 30, 2023, GANB is the third busiest bankruptcy court in the country. Last year, we slid to number 4, but we are back at 3 for 2023. We are number 1 in the country for Chapter 13 filings with 9,069 cases. 8.1% of all filings in GANB were pro se, which is the 22nd highest in the country. For the calendar year 2023 through October 31st, 2023, GANB overall filings are up 19.8%. Last year at this time, we had 12,478 cases, and this year we have 14,952 cases filed through 10/31/23. Chapter 7s are up 20%. Chapter 13s are up 18%. Chapter 11s are up 36%, and technically, Chapter 15s are up 100%, but that's because we did not have any Chapter 15s filed in 2022. We've also had 74 sub-5s filed in 2023. I am sure you have heard quite a bit about another looming government shutdown or lapse in appropriations. The federal government is currently under a continuing resolution. This CR ends at midnight, November 17th, 2023. If there is not a budget or new CR, there will be a partial government shutdown. We are advised by the Administrative Office of the U.S. Courts that the judiciary has funding to maintain operations for approximately 2 weeks using non-appropriated funds. Regardless of what happens on or before November 17th, Georgia Northern will be open for business. Now for news, announcements, and reminders. First, I would like to discuss a few personnel updates. On June 30th, 2023, Gina Thomas retired from Georgia Northern as Clerk of Court. We miss Gina a great deal, and I'm happy to report that she is doing well and enjoying retirement. On July 1st, 2023, I became Clerk of Court of the best bankruptcy court in the country. Many of you may know, but I share for those who do not, that I clerked in this very court for the Honorable C. Ray Mullins before practicing at a boutique bankruptcy firm here in Atlanta. From there, I went to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Georgia, serving as an AUSA before returning to the court in 2017 as Chief Deputy for Operations, as Chief Deputy, and now as Clerk of Court. I would like to acknowledge 2 additional personnel updates, that of Shannon Morris and Jessica Leto. Shannon Morris became Chief Deputy on July 3rd, 2023. Shannon has been with Georgia Northern for 24 years. She is a wealth of knowledge, and GANB is fortunate to have her. Also in June of this year, our longtime financial manager, Lynn Saunders, retired, and Jessica Leto was selected to fill the role. Jessica comes to us from the Federal Public Defender Office in Colorado and brings a comprehensive financial background. GANB is also fortunate to have Jessica. And as a point of personal privilege, I am fortunate for all of GANB's staff, senior leadership team, and judges. And now a few miscellaneous announcements. I am happy to announce that the fee for Pro Hoc Vitae admissions has decreased. The new fee is $100. That's a $50 savings. On the other hand, I must also announce that effective December 1, 2023, the fees on the bankruptcy court miscellaneous fee schedule will increase. A few increases of note are for claims transfers, motions to redact, filing specific motions, amended schedules, audio recordings, and certifications. In other news, on October 23rd, GANB went live with the Automated Collections Register program. This program is a web-based collection register application supported by the AO. Internally, this program allows GANB to upgrade major elements of our financial process to a system that's supported by the AO and that serves as a united automated collection and receipting system. Externally, you may notice the words ACR at the end of a docket entry, especially for receipts, but that should be the only public-facing change. On October the 2nd, the United States Trustee Program began implementing virtual Section 341 meetings of creditors for cases filed under Chapter 7, 12, or 13 in the Northern District of Georgia. In conjunction with the Metro Atlanta Consumer Bankruptcy Attorney Group, or MACBAG, the UST held information sessions on the rollout on September 25th, October 4th, and October 13th. The U.S. trustee encourages practitioners to read the best practices for debtors and attorneys document and to provide it to their clients and to confer with clients to ensure that the clients are able to join their Zoom 341 meetings. For more information, please visit the link on this slide. There are 4 general orders that I would like to bring to your attention. They are amended and restated General Order 37-2020, which provides that the signature of a debtor represented by an attorney is not required on any amendment to a Chapter 13 plan or post-confirmation plan modification, provided the debtor's counsel has signed the document. Second amended and restated General Order 26-2019, which establishes procedures for use throughout the Northern District of Georgia and Chapter 11 cases that are designated by the court as complex Chapter 11 cases. This general order also provided that effective August the 1st, 2023, judges Paul M. Bazier, Jeffrey W. Cavender, and Sage M. Sigler became panel judges for complex Chapter 11 cases. The third general order I'd like to bring to your attention is the amended and restated General Order 45-2021, which supersedes General Order 45-2021 and applies only to individual debtors not represented by an attorney. The final general order that I bring to your attention is the third amended and restated General Order 24-2018, which establishes procedures for counsel to notice hearings and provide an opportunity to object, and is entered for the sole purpose of replacing Exhibit A, form of notice, with a new form for use effective immediately. As a reminder, on Monday, October the 30th, at the request of the Honorable Jeffrey Cavender and the Honorable Sage Sigler, the Federal Judicial Center launched a survey to assess each judge's performance. Judge Cavender and Judge Sigler's participation in the program is voluntary and reflects their desire to provide the highest level of public service. The survey and the results are truly anonymous, even to the researchers, and Judge Cavender and Judge Sigler would greatly appreciate your participation. For each survey, the FJC sent an invitation email to attorneys and trustees who have practiced before Judge Cavender or Judge Sigler in the past 4 years. The email explains how to access and complete an online questionnaire. If you did not receive an invitation email from the FJC and would like to participate, please click the link on this slide for additional information on how to participate. Last year, we provided this list as a roadmap for Zoom best practices for court hearings. The list is included here again for the benefit of newer attorneys or those who may have missed seeing the list last year. All of the best practices are helpful and important, but please be sure to pay particular attention to best practice number 1 and best practice number 8. Best practice number 1 provides that Zoom hearings are court proceedings and should be treated and respected as such. Do not do anything in a Zoom hearing that you would not do in a courtroom. Best practice number 8 advises to read the order and notice issued by the court. The matter may be set for an in-person hearing. Do not assume that it is virtual. Next, I'd like to turn to our online procedures manual. The online procedures manual is a resource and reference tool that external users can access to learn more about specific events to use when filing pleadings in CMECF, as well as filing requirements, affiliated forms and rules, and information on how to docket pleadings. Over the last 12 months, a specialized team at GANB undertook the challenge of reviewing, editing, and updating the OPM. We are happy to report that the updated OPM should be available for use in January of 2024. Over the next few slides, we will see a preview of the new format. Users can access the OPM from our homepage by clicking on the Online Procedures Manual button located in the middle of our homepage. From the table of contents, users can click on a category to show the associated events. If a user clicks an event name, it'll open. Categories and events are listed in alphabetical order. Each event contains an overview, forms or rules if applicable, filing requirements, and docket instructions. Hyperlinks are used throughout this manual to direct the user to other event pages, websites, or forms. When you click a hyperlink, a new window opens to ensure that the user maintains their place within the OPM. Users can now print an event by clicking the printer-friendly button at the bottom of any event. We look forward to going live with this updated version of the OPM and hope that you will find it informative, helpful, and easy to navigate. As many of you know, each year on December the 1st, amended rules, new rules, and form changes go into effect. In the last few years, especially last year with amendments to incorporate changes as a result of Subchapter 5, there were quite a number of rules changes. This year, there are significantly fewer. In the following slides, I will identify the rules changes and updates to the official forms. I encourage you to review the upcoming rules changes and form updates. These documents can be found at uscourts.gov, the link for which is provided on this slide. First, we have Rule 3011, unclaimed funds in cases under Chapter 7, Subchapter 5 of Chapter 11, Chapter 12, and Chapter 13. This rule codifies that the clerk of court is required to provide searchable access on the court's website to information about unclaimed funds. Georgia Northern is ahead of the curve. Access to information about unclaimed funds for Georgia Northern cases, as well as for U.S. Courts unclaimed funds, is available from our website. You may also use the link in the slide. Next is Rule 8003, Appeal as of Right, How Taken, Docketing the Appeal. This amendment conforms the rule to changes made in Federal Rule of Appellate Procedure 3C, which stressed the simplicity of the requirements for the contents of the Notice of Appeal. I will not go through each subdivision, but note that subdivision A3B is amended to clarify that it is not necessary or appropriate to identify every order of the bankruptcy court that the appellant may wish to challenge on appeal. The next rule discusses Rule 9006, Computing and Extending Time for Motion Papers. This amendment adds Juneteenth National Independence Day to the list of legal holidays. The next rule is Rule 9038, Bankruptcy Rules Emergency. This is a new rule that emerges from the COVID-19 pandemic. The rule provides authority to extend or toll the time limits in these rules during times of major emergencies affecting the bankruptcy courts. Emergency rule provisions have also been added to the civil, criminal, and appellate rules. Subdivision A of this rule specifies the limited circumstances under which the authority conferred by this rule may be exercised. The Judicial Conference of the United States has the exclusive authority to declare a bankruptcy rules emergency, and it may do so only under extraordinary circumstances. Just for reference, the Judicial Conference is the national policy-making body for the federal courts. Subdivisions B1 through B3 provides the content required for declaring an emergency, that an early termination can be declared before the initially stated termination date, and that the Judicial Conference may issue additional declarations under this title. Subdivision C1 and C2 grant the chief bankruptcy judge of a district the authority during a declared bankruptcy rules emergency to extend or toll deadlines on a district or division-wide basis, or to the presiding judge in a specific case. Subdivision C3 addresses the termination of extensions and tolling and provides a soft landing upon the termination of a bankruptcy rules emergency. Subdivision C4 allows fine-tuning in individual cases of extensions of time or tollings that have been granted. And Subdivision C5 accepts from the authority to extend time periods any time provision imposed by statute. There are just 3 form updates. The first is Form 410A, which is amended to provide for separate itemization of principal due and interest due. Because under Section 1322E, the amount necessary to cure default is determined in accordance with the underlying agreement and applicable non-bankruptcy law, it may be necessary for a debtor who's curing arrearages under Section 1325A5 to know which portion of the total arrearages is principal and which is interest. The amended portion of Form 410A will look like this screenshot. The second form update is to Form 417A. Parts 2 and 3 of the form are amended to conform to wording in the simultaneously amended Rule 8003. The new wording is intended to remind appellants that appeals as of right from orders and decrees are limited to those that are appealable, that is, either deemed final or issued under Section 1121D. This screenshot shows parts 2 and 3 of the amended official form 417A. Finally, there is a change to Form 1340, Application for Payment of Unclaimed Funds. Changes are made to discourage fraudulent application from persons asserting that they are a successor claim holder. Part 2, entitled Claimant Information, is new, and if the claimant is a successor claimant, it asks the applicant to represent, amongst other things, that they sent a copy of the application for unclaimed funds to the owner of record and all other previous owners of the claim, or that applicant enclosed a statement explaining why the applicant was unable to send a copy of the application, or an explanation of why doing so is unnecessary. Finally, we have a few general announcements. The first is that for weather delays and closings, we ask that you please check WSB and the GANB website for official information. I also want to note that a recording of this meeting and the PowerPoint will be posted on the GANB website. I thank you for attending this meeting and wish you and yours a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for attending this meeting. We look forward to seeing you again next year.